Hi everyone, this is Primetime Combat, and I'm joined today by current full contact contender, featherweight champion, and one of the best prospects coming out of UK and Malta, Matthew Camilleri. Matthew, thank you for joining me today.
No worries, mate. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. So if we get started with the interview, firstly, I'd like to recap your last fight where you defeated Azzy Thomas and you defended your belt by absolutely dominating him. This was at FCC 29. How were you feeling going into the fight, and what were your thoughts of the fight itself?
And going to the fight, I was in the locker room. I was very excited. Very for the first time ever in my career, I think I was the most loose I've ever was in my life. It was heavy. It was me, Paul, Ellis, Vance, a few others, my team, Chasen, Paddy. We're hearing the music. At one point, I was actually dancing at one point in the locker room after I warmed up. So yeah, it was very nice. And the fight planned out actually better than I expected. I expected him to come a little bit more forward than I thought, but he didn't. So we kind of had two ways in my mind. It's either they're gonna do like the same things that they always do, they move back, or they come forward. I expected him to come forward because of his veteran stuff and all that, but he didn't. He just wanted to move back and play around. Um, and yeah, he was strong on the ground. He was very strong. I felt his strength and all that, but other than that, it's just domination. I didn't even get hit. The only thing I got hit with was when the elbow on the ground. And in the second round, I slipped. Didn't even get hit. Blocked all of them. Just literally slipped. Went for a takedown. So all good. No injuries. No anywhere. So happy to be one of the best showcase I've ever put. Actually.
Yeah, and it was a fantastic dominating performance, and you completely shot him off. So now you are 7-1. So where would you like to go from here? Would you like to defend your belt again or try and move on?
Well, I mean, usually people that get the belt for FCC or something like that, usually they defend it once, or usually they'll get the belt and go to Cage Warriors or any organization like top ones. I love FCC and I love what they've done with me and all the like how it's going. But I'd like to have that opportunity to fight for Cage Warriors and all that. All my teammates are fighting there, so I don't see why I'm not able. I think I'm more able than anybody else in the world to go there and just be in the top 10 immediately. Not even just fight in Cage Warriors. Just be there and be top 10 already, or even get the belt. I'm not saying I want the belt anywhere yet, but I'd like to fight somebody in the top 10 or some of the top prospects in there and then just literally get one win and maybe get a belt or two wins, get a belt. But I want those names, those great names in Cage Warriors. I want those fighters over there.
And I really do believe you're worthy of getting your Cage Warriors shot. Has there been any talks, initial talks for your agency with Cage Warriors, or are you still waiting for some communication?
Not yet. Nothing. Not from my things. Didn't hear that much. Right now, to be honest, I mean, I kind of had kind of a way that I'm gonna be there, but that I'm gonna find there, but no official talks. The only thing I'm gonna say is right now I'm calming down. I'm going home and on Wednesday, going home back to Malta on Wednesday, and tomorrow and on Sunday I have two kids that I trained them and they're gonna compete. So I'm literally focusing on them and relaxing, eating, but I'm focused on the kids and I'm just happy that I got the win. So I'll let everything just go as it comes. I'm not worried about anything. I know I'm worthy of it. I know all people know that I deserve to be there. So if everybody wants me to be there, you know, it has to be.
Sounds good. And these kids that you're coaching, will they be fighting in the UK or are they fighting in Malta?
No, they're going to be fighting in the UK, in the European elite BJJ. No, is it? No, the world. Sorry, it's the world's elite BJJ. The place I always forget about it. I think it's somewhere in down south of the world. It's about 2 hours away by car, I think, or 1 hour 45 minutes. But yeah, there. One of them is 7, and the other one is 8. So small kids, but they're I like to train them a lot. They train a lot non-stop, so they're dedicated. So I have pictures with them as well after the fight. They came to watch me every fight that I had. So when I was in the UK, so they're kind of my family as well. They're kind of like my little kids. I don't have kids, but they're like my kids.
Yeah, that's fantastic to hear. So going back to the early days, I know you were born in Sabah, Malta. What was life growing up in Malta like? And when and how did you first find a passion for competing in martial arts?
Growing up in Malta is nice. The weather is nice, better than here actually. Always sunny, always hot. I love the that hot weather. And I found my passion for the sport. I think was at the end of 2012. At the end of 2012, I remember I was a huge fan of WWE, like a huge, crazy fan since I was young. And then I saw Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar was one of my favorites as well, but he transitioned. I knew that he was a proper wrestler, so I watched wrestling when I was young, the real wrestling, obviously. And then he transitioned to MMA, and I saw how real fighting is, and kind of liked it immediately, like the way he fought against Frank Mir. I watched his first fight against Frank Mir, and it was intriguing. And I was like, wow, you know how much wrestling dominance is. So I was all the fights, obviously, since 2012. He already fought, became a champion, lost, and all that. So I saw his career, and I saw others. And then literally in the next week, I found out that there was an MMA gym in Malta, and I joined there. And from there on, we're here.
That's great. So your first two professional MMA fights were in Malta. What was the feeling like for you making your professional debut?
Oh, it was great. I did a 3-week training camp with AKA. Then I came home, and I did about 2 months, I think, as well, training in Malta with one of my training partners. There was only one guy. It was a welterweight, but we trained everything: jiu-jitsu, wrestling, boxing together. So we knew each other inside out. So we're non-stop helping each other. And the organization was great at that time, Centurion. And it offered me great fights. Not amount of money, like a least amount of money, but it was great for me. Money didn't count. It was like more, oh, I'm gonna do my professional debut. But everybody knew me way before because of my jiu-jitsu accomplishments, my wrestling, and my MMA amateurs. So everybody was waiting for me to do the professionals. So when I did my professional debut, and there was mega, and I knew when I come out, I saw this crowd, and everybody was with me. I was like, wow, what a feeling! After the fight, it was just amazing. Second fight was against another Maltese guy, so it was a little bit of a we're mixed. We had problems, me and him, before, so what made it a little bit, for me, it wasn't that much super personal. And but I just wanted to beat him and make him as an example, as this is the second guy in the country, and but from number one, which is me, and number two, there's a big level of distance, so there's nobody that can match me. And that, for me, that was like the significance. I said, I just put my name in there, and there's like nobody that can match me in my country. So now it's next level is make it to the top, and that's why I did my third fight.
That's great. And I know you mentioned Centurion Fight Championship, but how big is MMA or even boxing in Malta?
So boxing is big. Kickboxing is good as well, but I'd say boxing is the most one. MMA, not really. I mean, MMA fighters in my country, there's not much. There's only me. Obviously that guy, but he stopped after our fight. I think he did another one, then he stopped. Um, there were others, but they weren't that great, and then they stopped. They didn't do much. I think there will be coming others, but mostly we have great boxers. They fought internationally; they're great, and there's great kickboxers as well. They're like four, like super great fighters, like K1 fighters, and jiu-jitsu guys. There's tons of good jiu-jitsu guys. And that's why I'm gonna go back home. It's called Avant Garde. They have great facilities, um, good teachers in there, like Tomas. There's Tomas, and then there's his brother David. Um, very, very great. They're not from Malta. They're from Belgium, but they're staying in Malta, so they're great. Wrestling, we have a great wrestling community as well. At the Olympic wrestler, Jasmine Jordan. His son Gary is the best technical wrestler I've ever seen in my life, in my country as well. He's internationally, he's done it so much times. What else? Yeah, I think I covered them all. Yeah, Thai boxing is good as well. Kind of the best Muay Thai. Al Creed, which I'll be going there as well. When I go to Malta, I'm gonna visit all my old gyms and some new ones as well. Guard, Galea, Steve, they're two of the best boxers as well. There's loads more. But yeah, that's all. MMA is a little bit backwards, but then the individual sports, especially boxing and kickboxing, yeah, we have a decent level, I'd say. Very good, actually.
And that's great. So obviously, when you go back to Malta, you got these great guys that you can still train with to keep fit and to learn even more, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. In those 2 weeks, I'm not gonna go rest. I have there's gonna be a seminar of obviously one of the best grapplers in the world called Cobrinha. He's gonna be there, so I'm gonna meet him in Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. At least I'm gonna have those 3 days where he's gonna be there. I missed the first 2 days, but no, what can I do? But then I'm gonna do a seminar over there as well after him. But yeah, my old boxing coach. I like to train individual sports, especially the wrestling. I miss my wrestling guys. We're very great. But yeah, looking forward to go do pads with my boxing coach, my Thai boxing coach, my jiu-jitsu guys back home. But here, jiu-jitsu is very great, so it's very, very similar. But I miss wrestling, so that's my favorite thing is like going back, watch my wrestling guys and be there and train with them a lot. So miss them.
And before we talk about your current gyms that you train at, do you still keep in good contact with the initial gym that you started MMA in Malta?
Unfortunately, the MMA gym in Malta, the coach that was there, Ed Smith, he's still my friend. We still talk all the time. He watched my fight and he always sends me like good luck and how I am and all that. It was disbanded because he had to go home and do some other stuff. Now he has a family. That was back in, if I'm not mistaken, that was back in 2015, 16, 15, back in 2016. It was stopped. So that's where I started to go individual sports. Started jiu-jitsu back in 2013, mid 13, I'd say, or 14, somewhere there, and wrestling as well. But then I added boxing and Thai boxing as well when we had to separate, when everybody went ahead. I keep in contact with some of my friends that were in MMA. Some of the lads from MMA, I mentioned him after my post-fight interview. Stephen Swain, Joseph Abella was my only MMA training partner. Me, those two, and the others. There were others. I forgot their names, but they were there. We were all in the jiu-jitsu, so we're still training together, but we're still in contact. We always talk to each other. Yeah, and they're actually looking forward for me coming back, and we're gonna have some food together and get a comeback, and then maybe we'll train together as well. We're gonna train jiu-jitsu as well. Those people that are still training, we're gonna train. Yeah.
That's fantastic. So in terms of gyms, I know you currently train at Next Generation MMA in Liverpool, which is currently one of the best MMA gyms in the UK. But also you've trained at AKA in San Jose and Phuket. Firstly, what was the experience like training at AKA in both their venues?
Oh yeah, it was one of the best experiences of my life. I mean, that was the first ever, in my opinion, when I went to San Jose back in 2017 for 3 weeks. It was just an experiment for me. I want to see what a professional gym looks like, and plus meeting my all-time inspiration in MMA and Cain Velasquez, DC, and all, and Cain and Khabib. Sorry. When I met them there and I trained with them, it was unreal. I always like to train hard, but when I was there, it was like, yes, finally, I got good training partners, great training. And when I went for 3 months and all that, it was just nonstop, continuous enjoyment there. When I went to Phuket, it was the first time ever for me to go in Asia. So to see the American side, and then literally 2 months after going into Phuket, which is another different kind. Like America is this fucking technological advanced place, and then all of a sudden we're going to Phuket, which is the least advanced, but it's the nicest place because you have everything. You have there's my favorite fruit in there, and the people in there, they're very nice. The facilities is just amazing. Like Dylan Crushore as well was one of my trainers. He was one of my favorite guys to be in. He had the bar as well, so we'll eat. He does food as well. They're one of the best foods in there. And like me, his family, the gym family as well. All my training partners were there. Matt Manel from Risen. Learned a lot about Risen and One actually from there because I didn't know much about them. But that's what happened to me when I went to Phuket. I actually looked on the Asia side how MMA is, and I was surprised because I was like, obviously their striking is very good. Their jiu-jitsu is not bad. Their wrestling is like it's a hit and miss. Usually it's not the best, but then when you get some Russians coming in, obviously it will be great. But yeah, that's what they're lacking on. But their striking, I learned a lot from striking. And it's a nice thing to meet people from Australia. People visit a lot of Phuket, so that's the best thing. I met loads of people from every part of the world: Japan, China, Korea, what else? I mean, everywhere. And it was nice. Kept contact with them, and they're always telling me, when are you gonna come back home? When are you gonna come back in Thailand? I was like, oh crap, even America is saying the same thing. So I have to choose, but I'll surely be going visiting now when the things have settled down in the world. So I'm like, yeah, I will go and train.
And talking about Asian MMA, is there someone inside yourself that maybe you want to fight in an Asian promotion?
Oh yeah, I said it in some other interviews as well that I would love to. One is one of my favorites to watch sometimes. It's obviously there's the UFC, which is my favorite thing, favorite in MMA. I watch One as well. Like some of the names is just incredible. The only thing obviously I need to adjust in One, which I sparred once like that, is the knees to the downed opponent. I sparred like that once, which was a little bit weird for me. I couldn't understand. And when he hit me, like touched the knee to the head, the guy that was fighting on One, I was like, wait, did he just did a knee into the ground opponent? And then they told me, oh wait, he's One. Oh, I was like, oh crap, yeah, I forgot. So there's loads of different positions that I have to be careful with. But yeah, if I like to fight in One and in UFC both. If I would like to choose one thing that from people are going for double champion for two division champion, I will never do that because I'm not great. First of all, I'm not big for lightweight. I'm very small for lightweight, and I'm too big for bantamweight. So I always like to be a featherweight. So if anything, the only thing I would like to do that nobody ever did was take maybe Demetrius Johnson would take the UFC belt, obviously, in the future, and take another belt, which is the One. I'd say that would be the most prestigious, two of the best prestigious MMA companies have both of their titles and just settle it over there. That's the only promotion I'd like One, which is great, and it will be better. I'd say in a few years' time, they'll do like Bellator and Risen, I think, in One and UFC. How they already traded fighters, so they will do the UFC versus One. I would like to see that one very much.
Yeah, and I'd like to too. I mean, you mentioned Demetrius Johnson. I know today the rematch was announced with Adriano Martins.
Yeah.
But really, for myself as well, I believe, UFC is the best MMA promotion, but I really do feel that One championship is very underappreciated and underrated. I mean, when you watch the event, there's so many entertaining fights and so many great up and coming fighters on there, and I just don't feel they get the media attention as they should, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you as well. For example, one thing I noticed, which is one of my favorite things, because I follow jiu-jitsu as well. Look at Gary Tonin, for example, and Bushesha. When they announced that they will be in MMA, I was like, oh, wow, which organization? And I said, One. I immediately said, you know what? I'm gonna watch all their careers, and I watched all of their fights, and they're really great. And I think you should get a lot more attention because they're highly recommended. They're highly the best in jiu-jitsu, and they're fighting MMA. I think they should have a lot more things. And one of my favorite as well now on the Muay Thai perspective is Liam Bunko. He's from the UK.
Liam Harrison.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Liam Harrison. Yeah. On Facebook, on Instagram is always different. Liam Harrison for me is one of my all-time favorite Muay Thai fighters, him and Haggerty as well, and John Haggerty. Every time there's those two on the, and Liam Harrison is actually on the co-main event of Demetrius Johnson's card, is he?
Yeah, he'll be fighting on that card as well as Rod Tang as well.
Yeah, exactly. So that when I saw that card a few hours ago, I was like, yes, another rematch. That's gonna be great. I think Demetrius Johnson should get it in the bag this time. He experienced how tall he is, so he has a game plan, I'd say, and he'll be more aware of the knees to the ground to the head. So I'd say he'll win it this time. So should be good.
Well, he did get finished by the knees to the head on the grounded opponent in the first fight, didn't he?
Yeah. He was getting up and then he just literally put his hand down. And I think he literally forgot that there were knees to the head. He was so surprised when he got knees to the head. He's like, oh wait, even in the interview, he's like, oh crap, yeah, I got knees to the head when I was getting down. It's a bit weird, but yeah, I think he'll get you now. He's obviously used to it, so it should be a little bit more defensive even when you get up. Yeah, that's the only thing I find, like, when you're going up from there, and obviously in MMA and UFC and all that, we put our hands down because we want to get up and we don't even think about knees, and just you get caught with a knee. It's a little bit different. So I think he will win this time. He'll prove, and plus he's watched that he's training with Henry Cejudo as well this time. So to be fair, everybody that trained with Henry Cejudo nowadays, okay, maybe apart from Zhang Weilin that she didn't win, but she got way more better in her last fights. I'd say everybody got improved way more. So I'd like to see how Demetrius Johnson improves by training with Henry Cejudo. I think his wrestling will be on another level.
And talking about training in gyms, obviously you're currently with Next Generation MMA in Liverpool. What is the environment like in the gym, and how beneficial is it to you to be able to train at such a top-class gym in the UK whilst preparing for a fight?
Oh, it's good. We have different styles. We have, obviously, we have Paddy, which is very good. We have Nathan Fletcher. Obviously, he's a good wrestler as well for me as well. So we wrestle with each other. We help each other as well. And obviously Matt Bonner, he's a welterweight, middleweight as well. He's good as well. Wait a minute. Just changed. I always mix his name. Colin, obviously, he's one of the best lightweights coming up with the cage warrior. So yeah, it's a great thing. Joel as well, a great striker. We have our little mates, one of my best friends in the gym, Liam Giddens. And me and him, we always, every time we're there, I'll help him with his wrestling, and then he'll help me when we go kind of toe-to-toe, me and him. So it's like, it's striking, we enjoy ourselves. And obviously then we have great southpaw, very great, good fighter, striker especially. Liam Malloy. So we have diversity in the gym. Ben Kelly, and then obviously we have the coaches, Paul, Alice, and Adam. They all help us out. They all have different styles. Obviously, Paul is great in jiu-jitsu a lot. Alice is good in striking. And eventually he's a veteran fighter. He's good in jiu-jitsu. He's good in striking as well. So he helps us all out and all that. So and we all get parts, the best from all three. So and then obviously we have our own stuff that we do in the gym. Like my wrestling is all mine. My wrestling is mostly my ways to do. Like my wrestling is we go underneath, so I help everybody with that as well. And Paddy does his own stuff as well, so he helps us sometimes, especially he helps me sometimes with small adjustments. So we all help each other. Even just literally saying, be a little bit more aggressive in your approach instead of just standing there sometimes, just helps, because that's the only difference sometimes we got. We're all technically great. We just need that edge of sometimes you need to be aggressive, sometimes you're not. That's all. We're all professionals at the end of the day.
And I guess especially in the UK, there's no better gym than Next Gen to to be training every day. And I know Paddy Pimblett was in attendance for your last fight at FCC, so that must have been great. So if we move on now to the quick fire questions, so I'll just explain. This is just questions about yourself as a fan of the sport. So if we start off with, what's your favorite fight of all time?
Hmm. Okay, this is a bit difficult. Um, I'd say Khabib. I'd say Khabib. It's between personally two Khabib and Cain Velasquez. I'd say. Sorry, can't get an answer.
And what's your favorite finish from one of your fights?
Hmm. Uh, phew, okay, my first fight, I'd say when I was Mount and I was elbowing him. When I was elbowing him in the Mount, I think that's a ground and pound that I had. That's why I'd say my best finish.
And how about your favorite knockout in all of MMA to watch?
Hmm. Uh, oops. Here we go. Hmm, maybe Edson. Um, one of the best points I'd say Edson Barbosa's spinning back kick on the.
Terry Atom.
Yeah, that one for me, I think will always be that picture perfect KO, I'd say. So yeah.
And who's your favorite fighter to watch?
TJ Dillashaw and I'd say two. TJ Dillashaw and Islam Makhachev.
And have you trained with Islam when you were at AKA?
Yes, I grappled with him actually.
And how strong is he?
Oh my god. I was gonna say, fuck, it was crazy. When I grappled with him, I was like, oh wow, finally I'm gonna grapple with him. That was back in 2019. That was back in 2019. So it was coming. Khabib was fighting. That was when Khabib fought I Quint actually. That's when I grappled with him, like a little bit before. So I did that training camp with him. Yeah, he let's just say he just literally. I was like, why am I not getting up first? I knew he was great. I was like, wow, what the hell is this? But I loved it. To be fair, I really enjoyed myself. I'm getting smashed underneath. I was like, wow, what a different style. I grappled with him and Omar, both of them. It was great. It was like, wow, what a different type.
That's great. And do you have any routines or superstitions before a fight?
Uh, my warm up maybe. Gymnastics. Like I do my usual gymnastics that I do back in my when I used to wrestle. I warmed up that way, so I kind of kept the same warm ups, head springs, handsprings, and yeah, cartwheels and all that. That's I have to do that to just loosen up. But yeah, no stuff. To be honest, I don't wear anything different. Just no, it's just all the same.
And what's your go-to food after a fight?
Uh, and it because the fight always ends up late. Unfortunately, the first food I always have is the most boring food ever. It's a bowl of cereal. But my favorite food would be a pizza at least, or a Five Guys burger at least.
And something your fans don't know about you?
Um, okay. Well, I hope I'm not sure if they know, but I think they should. I think they know, but I'm a huge anime loving person. I love animation. I love superheroes. And one of my favorite all time and hero slash anti-hero is Peacemaker from the Prime TV show, John Cena. He's my all-time favorite because I actually relate myself to him. Like his character is actually the way I am. And I actually am gonna make. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm gonna spoil the entrance. My next entrance song for my next fight, wherever it's gonna be his entrance song.
It's very
So
interesting. So now I've got some fan Q&A questions that was sent in through Instagram. Sam asks, If you could take the striking ability of any one fighter in the world, who would it be?
DJ Dillashaw.
Without doubt.
Yeah, without a doubt, he is. He's the best.
Roger asks, who is the best fighter from AKA who you have trained or sparred with?
Well, I grappled with Islam, but I sparred properly with. I'd say the best would be either Alejandro Perez or Sean Bunch. I'd say. Yeah.
And Oscar asks, have you ever been approached by Cage Warriors or Bellator?
Once by Bellator back in 2019.
And how did that deal come across? And was
Not
it
really. Not really by them. One of my management team tried to do it, but then I was going to go on the London card, but then it was a question of, because I was in Malta and I was on the undercard, I couldn't sell tickets, so it was like, no, we're not going to do it. So, and I had to pay for the. I was actually offering to pay for the traveling and all that. So, but like it didn't go in because they had fighters over there, so they can sell tickets. So that's why.
And a final question here, Tima asks, would you recommend going to Thailand for up-and-coming fighters?
Yeah, I would. I would always say if you like to go to striking, yeah, obviously I would literally recommend it. AKA Thailand would be great for you, obviously. There's a great MMA coach. He's called Dylan Bushor. He's very great. He's a great Muay Thai world champion, former world champion, and he's a good purple belt. Say even the brown belt now, and he's very good. And yeah, there's, especially if you don't like maybe AKA, if you don't fancy that, there's other gyms. Obviously, there's Tiger Muay Thai, Ketopti, and some other good gyms as well. So yeah, highly recommend it. And plus, other than that, when you're on Sundays, for example, enjoy the world of Thailand, Phuket especially. It's a very nice place to relax as well while you're training.
Yeah, and I know Thailand is a very beautiful place. I think we'll wrap up the interview here. I'd just like to say a big thank you to you, Matthew, for taking the time out of your day to speak to me and share us your thoughts and stories. Myself and everyone at Primetime Combat wishes you the very best for the remainder of your hopefully long and successful career. Thank you very much, Matthew.
Thank you very much, mate. Hope to have another chat with you for the next time, but I'll be on Cage Race and I'll be having the gold belt as well.
Sounds great. I can't wait for it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. See you, mate.